Well, hello everyone, it's Kari, and spring has definitely sprung here in Arizona, so I thought I'd bring out one of my very favorite layering stencils from Missing Stamps. This is called the Wildflowers layering stencil, and it is beautiful, and I wanted to go with some spring colors, so I brought in some inspiration that I found online, and these are the colors I'm going for. I'm bringing in a bunch of inks. And this may sound funny, but I've challenged myself to use only these colors. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors. I think I might not end up using that darkest one. So I'm bringing in my stencil placement guide from Missing Stamps, and I'm lining it up with the edge of one of the stencils that has the most flowers on it, because I wanted to make sure that I was getting the scene mostly on my cardstock here by lining it up. And that looks pretty good. So I taped down that placement stencil with some blue tape. And now I can place my stencils in every time and get them in the right spot. You can do the same thing with a MISTI, or you can make your own lines using the grid lines on your craft mat. I'm using my Glassboard Studio here. And I'm going to start with the lightest color clay mask and then go in with a little coral cabana in the center of each of these flowers. And that will give it a little bit of depth and add some interest to the flower petals themselves. One thing I just have to say is this layering stencil produces amazing results every time, but when you add a little bit of depth and darkness to the inner part of the petals, I think it just makes it sing that much more. Now I'm going to go in with the second stencil here, and for the centers I will ink on a darker color, and this is the orange color, which is the Sauna. I am going to ink it on kind of lightly and then darker towards the bottom of each one of these. So you can see that I like to make the bottom part a lot darker. Look how cool that looks. Really, really fun. Now here's the third, or this is the same stencil again. I forgot to ink on those flowers on the top. So I'm going to ink those on with a pink shade. I'm going to go in with my clay mask again, just like that. And now we can go with the next stencil. And this one adds even more shades and colors to those small flowers. So I'll go in with the Coral Cabana. It's so much fun to mix and match colors with this stencil. You get a different look every time. I've made this looking like sunflowers before, and I think I did a blue flower with this also. It turns out so neat every time. I think these could be daisies, this could be sunflowers, whatever you want. But any way that you do it is perfect for spring. Let's go in with the next stencil here, and this one is going to start on the leaves and stems. I'm going to start with a lighter color. I'm looking at the aqua sky here, and I think adding a little bit of blues instead of greens is really fun to switch things up a little. So I'll go in with that aqua sky. It's kind of a light blue-green, so I think it's perfect. And we'll start in with all of these little leaves for that color and going all the way up to the top. It's beautiful. Now, it looks like I am going to use the ocean side just a little bit on the bottom of each of these to give it a little more depth and interest. Just a little bit, and look at that. That does look really fun. Now we'll go in with the rest of the leaves and the stems for the flowers. And you can see I just hold it down with my magnet. And for these, I'm going for the Melon Ice, which is a true light green and very beautiful. Now, there's already a little bit of green on my stencil, as you can see, so it's going to make it a little bit darker than normal, which I actually ended up loving. And then the last stencil with the sage is going to be perfect to bring in the darker shades of green. So many shades of blues and greens on this card. I love the variation, and I do think it's fun to switch things up every once in a while. There we go, and let's take a look. There's our beautiful finished result. It is a gorgeous spring garden. Look at all those colors, and the different shades really make it pop. So let's turn this into a card now. I am going to bring in another favorite of mine, and it's one of these frame dies from Missing Stamps. This is the Punny Farm frame die, and I'm going to use that to cut an A2 size panel, but I'm going to use the outside of it as a frame this time. Now this could easily be turned into a shaker card, but today I'm making a faux shaker card, no acetate needed. And it's really simple and easy to do, especially if you don't enjoy making shakers. I'm going to ink up this frame though. I'm going to use the clay mask all around the outside of it, and then I'll darken up some of the edges using the Coral Cabana and maybe a little bit of the Sauna. And so I'm still using the same colors we've used throughout, but I'm going to make a little bit of a gradient. That'll bring a little interest to our frame and make it even more spring-like. I'm holding onto this frame with my hands and being very gentle when I ink on the ink so that I don't bend the frame. You want to use a gentle hand on this because it really is easy to get that frame bent out of shape. Now, as I say, try any colors that you want. Make this your color scheme and see how it turns out. But I would love to see what you're making if you're going to give this a try. All right, let's take a look at that frame with our panel. It is beautiful. So now it's time to choose a sentiment, and I'm bringing in some of my favorite sets for sentiments. I go to these again and again. So let's just audition these a little bit on our card and see what we like. This set here is the Fall Bouquet stamp set, but it has some gorgeous sentiments with beautiful fonts that I love for my cards. And this one here is the Sunshine and Rainbow stamp set. And I don't know, I always need thank you cards, but I kept going back again and again to the one that says, "Hello, Sunshine." So we're going to use that one, and I'm going to stamp it out using the Sage ink that I've used on our card so it will color coordinate with our flower stems. And I think that looks beautiful like that. And now I'm going to take some foam adhesive, just the small little skinny strips, and we're going to put it all around this frame. This is what's going to make it look a little like a faux shaker with no acetate. It's just going to be popped up from that background. And then we'll add a few of these matte gold pearl embellishments. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of pollen coming up off of those flowers, which is what is killing me right now for spring. But I still love spring. Now we'll remove the backer from our foam adhesive and place that frame right down over our panel. And then we can add this to our card base. I've already attached those gold pearls. And here we go. This is our last little part. I'm going to use a top folding card base today for this so we can stand up really nicely like those flowers. And I'll just use my liquid adhesive to attach that to the base, making sure that it is lined up on the corners. And there's our card for today, a beautiful spring shaker. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you did. And please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out here on YouTube. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I will see you real soon with more cards, more inspiration, more fun. Happy crafting and happy spring. Bye-bye.